This is Gabriel Gonzalez for Cageside Press here with one of the entrants for the PFL 2025 tournament, not a season,
Yeah.
JBC, Jeremy Kennedy. Jeremy, obviously fans have been waiting. A lot of people have been waiting, I'm sure yourself included, to hear what's going to be the new format in 2025. So let's talk about it. Now you know, single elimination, kind of like a NCAA Final Four kind of deal. Just what are your feelings about the changes to the PFL this year?
Yeah, I like it, man. I think it's even for like the casual MMA fans, it'll be pretty easy to follow along. You got eight guys, you win, you advance, you lose, you go home, and as far as the rule set too, I love the addition of elbows. I think it's what the seasons were missing. I mean, obviously it made sense with, how close fights are in between, and it still is a concern, of course. There's these fights, I think it's 3 fights in 5 months, but you can't not have elbows involved. It's such a big weapon and tool, and I think it'll add a lot of excitement even to the grappling. It's with no elbows, it's pretty easy to get tied up and stalemated. Elbows make you move, man. So I love them. I'm excited for them, and I'm excited for this new new tournament and new format.
I did want to ask because last year, obviously, you got to essentially be on the the other schedule. You didn't have to be, locked into the season schedule. They found you obviously the fight for the title. Then you fought late last year as well. In hindsight, there's some people who said going in, I'd actually prefer, the other format. Some people felt better in the tournament. In hindsight, do you like how you did it, or would you have preferred being in the season?
I was really contemplating the season. I wanted it, but at the same time, I was so close to that title shot. It was looming. So I was like, do I give up the title shot or do I go into a tournament? And so I chose for the title shot, and unfortunately, it didn't go my way. I again, that one hurts still to this day. I felt good in there, and it showed where the caliber I'm at. And the level of competition I should be fighting, and it just set me up well for this one. The only hard part with that is the length in between the layoffs. Some fighters are okay with it. I'm a guy that I want to stay active. I want to fight, and I want to be ready for whatever's next, and get jump right back into training and get ready for the next opponent. And when you're in there, you're a lot more comfortable because you had just done it. Um, and so even having that late fight last year has helped for this tournament. I feel like it was just yesterday, and from fight to fight, it'll be 4 months. So that's a great turnaround leading into this tournament. And now I finally have the potential for some momentum, and some activity. Obviously, there's no round robin anymore where you're guaranteed these two fights in a specific time. But now you got to win, and I think that's most important in this sport. Everyone wants to just you win, you move on, and it might have been a bit too complicated with the round robin and the point system for the casual fan who doesn't quite understand it. Just flicking their TV and turning it on. Now, you flick it and you turn it on, you're going to see these guys, these eight guys, and the best man's going to win. You're going to move on, and that's it. And it's a gauntlet of a tournament. Just the bracket that I know of is it's all killers, and that's what I want. I want the winner of this tournament is going to be recognized as arguably the best featherweight. And that's what I'm looking for.
I'm glad you brought that up because looking at the field, there are a few guys familiar to Mr. Jeremy Kennedy. I mean, some people you have some history with, some people might feel they got history with you. I mean, looking at it now, I guess, do you care one way or another about having a rematch over the course of the tournament, or do you just not let yourself get emotionally invested? Because obviously people could lose or fall out or injury, etc.
Yeah, I definitely that's a big one for me. I would love if I get the choice. I want those are the fights I want. The ones that got away, the ones I feel like I'm better than. Borix and Braga specifically. Um, I've wanted the Borix rematch since it happened. That was 4 years ago or whatever it was. And the Braga, as soon as that fight ended, you know, a lot of people thought I won, and even president right up was walking out of the cage thought I won. And so that was the one I was like right then and there. I was like, hey, give me first round of the tournament. Obviously I don't make those decisions, and a lot of things happen, and there's very short memory in this game. So who knows what these matchups are going to look like, but that's one that I would love to see first, second, or even in the finals, or if I can run through both of them in the course of the three fights would probably be the best case scenario for me. Um, but if I don't see any of them and I still make it to the finals and I win this thing, no sweat either. I'm sure I'll see them. This we're all in that same area, and all being under the same banner in PFL, and we're gonna get these fights, and I'm gonna run into these guys. We're all on the top, so I know there's a lot of new faces and guys I haven't fought. Pinedo, I feel like he just needs to make weight once or twice, and then that's what I would love to see too. But to sign up to fight him first after how that whole last thing went, not quite ideal for me. Yeah, I mean, you got Movlid, who's an ex-champ, undefeated guy. I would love to take that O. Um, yeah, that man, all the matchups excite me. So I can't say one specifically more than the other, but if I had to, it'd definitely be one of the two, Borks or Braga. But again, I don't make those decisions, and I'm ready to fight whoever to get to those fights.
I think it's noticeable because they are absent. Last year's tournament champion, Teamwork Israev, and the finalist Brendan Loughnane, who obviously is a champion as well in the past, aren't in the field. I think
Yeah,
there's the expectation you win the tournament, you probably set up a fight with one of those guys to determine the, quote, number one featherweight in PFL, as I'm sure they're going to do for several of the weight classes. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like that's kind of like that final boss at the end of it? You win the tournament and then you get to knock out the top guy for, all the bragging rights?
exactly. It's opportunity. You win first, for example, you win in April. Now you've got a fight in June. You win in June, you've got an opportunity in August. Prize money, $500,000, tournament belt. You win that, now you have another opportunity. It doesn't just end there. You got another opportunity to fight the former champion, who's probably, I assume, going to be the current champion with Patricio gone. I would imagine Timor is the sitting champion. Um, and then you get that opportunity as well. You win that, and now you're the champion, and you've got all the options. So for me, it's just every win, it elevates me to a next step. There is no final boss, so to say, just because I plan on going through it and being the champion. I want the next season guys to be gunning for me. Like we're all, I'm sure, gunning for Timor. So it's just a matter of winning these fights, man. That's it when it comes down to it.
I mean, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I would be remiss if I don't ask you a little bit of business. Obviously, you see a couple of the guys seems to be shuffling the deck in terms of, free agency and all that. Do you get too invested in, man, I wish I could have gotten that Pitbull rematch, or is it just one of those things that's just how the universe plays out?
Exactly. Like that was one I was thinking of. Okay, it's okay. I'll go win this tournament and I'll fight my way back to that title. He's not going anywhere. And when he's gone again, like, what do I do? Like that's politics. That's their side of things. I'm here to fight, and that's it. And if he's gone and he's doing his own thing, what can I do? I'm not going to follow him. I'm making my own legacy. I'm winning that belt and defending it myself. And I would love to get that one back, and especially how that fight played out. Um, it is what it is, though. That's the way this game works. Sometimes you get rematches, sometimes you don't.
I mean, just a couple more. Obviously, with last year, the way it went down, I know obviously you would have wanted different results. What do you take away from a year like 2024 as you go in to revamp it in 25?
Yeah, I think the big one is just more that's not really out of my control. In my control is just the activity and the momentum. I'm happy that I fought 4 months ago. The fight did go the way it went, but again, I think I won that fight. And there's obviously I could have made changes to make it more decisive, but I'm I'm not beating myself up too much about that one. I'm glad I have that fight rolling into these ones. With you know 4 months apart, that's still the activity that I want, and continuous fight camps and staying active and being comfortable in there. And again, with Pitbull just showing like he was the featherweight champ, the long standing record holder, everything, and showing how I did with him is just shows the level of competition I know I can compete with. And I've gotten nothing but better in this last year, where I think I run that one back again, and it's a different result. And I'm just excited to show that against this new crop of guys.
And I'll leave you with that one. obviously going into 2025. We just found out that the dates are going to be taking place over in April for the first round of the tournament. Just what can fans expect when Jeremy Kennedy does get back in that smart cage?
Violence, man. I got a lot of redemption to come to. I got some losses to avenge, and just I gotta fight in June, and then when June happens, I gotta fight in August. So it's just I gotta earn these opportunities, and the only way I do that is by winning.
Well, Jeremy, we can't wait for it. As they said, we will find out the matchups for the featherweight tournament at a later date. But Jeremy Kennedy, one of the competitors for PFL 2025 tournament, you guys are not going to want to miss it. Jeremy, best of luck, man.